deity but Allah. 2, the compassionate, the beneficent, the gracious. 3, all praise and worship be to Allah and no other. 4, let the truth be now revealed concerning Yahudah. 5, the followers of Allah by the different name known is Yahweh. You hear that name? Yahweh. 6, the name given to Allah by those that remain loyal to Moses. 7, upon the founding of their new home at the city of of Syria upon the coast. 8, the former tribes of court of Moses when he was once Pharaoh. 9, being the tribes of scribes, priests, astrologers, and doctors, builders, and architects, inspectors, and tax collectors.
Now, what that sound like?
My.
Don't that sound like your city today?
Oh, that's
all your governors is these things right here.
Tax collectors.
Don't people pay taxes?
Yeah.
To do something on your land, don't you need an inspector?
Yeah.
Don't you need someone to do the blueprint?
You can't even build on your own land without an inspector. Somebody coming from the city to tell you what to do. And then, by the way, you gotta pay to get the inspection.
Mm-hmm.
You pay for all this right here.
Right.
And everywhere you go and stop and shop and buy, they taking what? Taxes. I went to buy a piece for my weed eater, and I didn't give him cash. I gave him a car, and he said, "Oh, now I got to take taxes from him." He said, "Straight $10." And then when I didn't give him the cash, he said, "Oh, now I got to get taxes out of that." I said to myself, "Look at them. Look at the merchants making sure that old Uncle Sam get his money." In the tax collectors. Everywhere we go.
What I want us to see is this. Those are the people that you are reading about that has came over here on your land and took it over.
Yeah.
And this is what men have left them to do. You go pay them. That's called takeover, retribution, tribute. This is why, just in my time, they don't deserve it and would never get it. And this is the time. No one has to understand, but Allah understands. It's been going around too long for misconception of what's been going on. This is why we under all these people that we reading about: tax collectors, inspectors, architects, and masons, builders.
Yeah.
Those are masons. Those building the court, like the new Quick Trip, all these new corporations and pop up Dollar General. Those are builders and architects.
Yeah, that's right.
Every old person I know go to see a doctor.
Ooh-wee.
So every person that I know, they don't even know an astrologer.
Sure.
But that's called a psychologist.
Yeah.
Or a therapist.
Yeah.
In these times. And then you got your priests.
And they charge you.
Them the ones acting as preachers.
Yeah.
Deacons.
Yep.
Then you got scribes, and those the one that's authoring your books.
Yeah.
Telling you they'll go buy this book. When you go to school, you got to spend over $1,000 in scribes, false information, all these books. This is what ticks you off when you don't got to do that. The reason why people will be broke because you believe in lies.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for nothing. If you didn't have to pay for lies,
that's right.
Why would you pay for lies?
Yeah, that's right.
My thing is I started paying for truth. I'll pay for truth. That's another thing. But to pay for a lie,
Yeah,
I won't do that.
I don't blame you.
So when it comes to understanding, what we need to understand is this is number 9. This is what a city is built off of. So every city that you call the United States, these are the people who was the follower, who knew all this stuff, but won't tell you a darn thing.
Yeah,
But have you under their branch and thumb so they can rule you.
that's correct.
For a rule of thumb.
That's correct. And ask all the students that attend the universities now that when they graduated, what do they have on their hand? A big old debt. Is that right, students out there?
A big debt.
I wonder, you go to school to learn an education and wind up with a debt, a big old bill after study. Now you know something. There's some hanky-panky going on.
And yeah, it's some hanky-panky going on. And it's finally coming clean, at least for myself and my generation.
11. The prisoners captured.
Oh, number 10.
Oh, excuse me, thank you. 10. The followers of Allah as Yahudah, who became feared throughout the ancient world for surviving the pledge, and so believed to possess supernatural power.
So we know what the plagues are, right? That's the European plague, the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
These things right here. The rats and things.
COVID-19.
Yeah. Well, before then, that's a modern day.
Yeah, that's a modern.
That's
day.
a modern day.
Yeah.
Creation from these same people.
Same thing. That's right.
See, and our people don't know none of this stuff, and this is, I just don't want. All I can say is make sure your parents don't go to the grave with this if you come from.
Yeah. And I'm afraid, son, that's where they headed.
Oh yeah, people of KOS don't get moving.
And deception.
Oh yes, because it's up to self. It ain't up to them.
Yeah.
It's up to self to self-subscribe, self-like, self-notify, self-everything. You self-pee, you self-growed up, you self-everything, you self-refrigerate, you self-drive. So you're going to have to do this yourself.
Right on. Beautiful. 11. The prisoners captured by the false Egyptian king after the death of Moses and returned to Egypt as slaves, believed to possess magical power.
Remember, Moses threw down the staff.
Yes, sir.
He turned into a serpent now.
Swallowed up the serpent.
So who had the greater magic? Was it the pharaohs or was it Moses?
Oh boy. And you know what? All I could think about over here in USA, that word slave, even though we ain't in Egypt, but somehow, some way, wind up slaves as here over here in this land, in the wilderness of North America. I wonder how that happened. Or was that a coincidence? Or was that intentional?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and by the way, all the presidents had slaves. Let's move on. Think on that. 12. The slave forced to rob the tombs of their ancestors for the menace and the false pharaoh of the rams, while their children were sacrificed for their blood. How can people in this society today, with all the cameras and every spying going on, satellites and all, and people go missing and you can't find them? Oh, they ain't missing. They somewhere locked up in here, waiting to be sacrificed. 13. The people who lost their faith in Allah and cursed all gods, and who upon gaining their freedom split into groups, with the former priests and scribes beginning to worship lesser gods, demons, and spirits.
See, this is where we at now.
It sure is.
This is exactly where we at now.
That's
People don't know what they worshiping, but that's what they worshiping. God, lesser gods.
And demons.
Yes, demons and spirits.
Mm-hmm. My goodness. 14. The people taken captive by the king of Babylon, only to be freed by the Persian, and who then chose to defy the will of Allah in the formation of pagan abomination of Mithra.
So when the noble prophet Drew Ali says the evil is a myth, these gods are made of air, that's the word Mithra. Myth. Catch it? Myth.
Yeah.
See, all this stuff is a myth that people are worshiping.
Yeah.
They worshiping myths.
Yeah.
You in reality, but you worshiping myths.
Yeah. That's what old belief will do for you.
That's what it says. These myths are made of air. And our people are believing in these myths. So it makes the myth come alive.
Alive.
Because you alive, the one person
that's
that
right.
alive giving life to it by believing it.
That's right. And that's why that explained today that why so many of our people's in jail in the wilderness of North America is because of the Mithra.
There you go.
And we believe in what they say and we follow their ways and all, and where we wind up in the jailhouse or the slaughterhouse or the graveyard.
And who built the jail? Because the creator didn't.
Sure didn't.
The creator ain't built no jail to put no one in. So who did it?
Around.
See, so these people are, that's what I'm saying, they own the land and they own everybody's land.
Yep.
But they finally made it here.
Yep. And I met a European told me that what you just said, and that's what they was building all the jails for, is for us. And he come out of his mouth and told me. I met him right there in Waycross, Georgia.
Yeah.
And
so
guess where we was at? We was there working, building, and expanding the jail. How about that? And was told that at the correction place.
This how powerful they feel. They are above whoever in those positions.
Yeah. I witnessed this,
Yeah.
y'all.
And so they are not Europeans. See, Moorish is European. This is where we have to learn. Yes. Only thing they are is Romans and Germans.
Yeah.
So whoever told you that was either a Roman or a German.
Yeah.
See, and if you know this knowledge right here, you'll be able to know who you're talking to.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what
And that's Satan worship, but these are followers of Satan.
Yeah.
So these are followers of Lucifer. That mean they work for the Roman Empire.
My goodness.
Remember, the Super Bowl is in Roman numerals.
Sure it is.
It's coming up this year. Just watch it.
Yes, sure is.
If you don't believe it, watch last year. It's in the Roman numerals.
Yeah. And all our court system is wrong.
Right. See, and all this come from the courts and the tribes in Egypt.
Yeah. My goodness, man.
Yeah, so they don't walk and brought all that stuff over here. And now we under this myths.
Yeah.
You can go to jail, you can do all this Man. It's a filthy mess.
Yeah. And everything is down here is and he has license to issue you out so you can be part of his system because all the association, everything has a license. Doctors, lawyers, just go down the list. And everybody got a license. This is the last one, 15. The people who still in part refuse to return to Allah at the destruction of the temple by the Nazarene followers of Jesus, who then formed a horrible heresy of mania in fallen manias and the claim duality of the universe.
That's where the split came, where it says split into groups.
Divide and conquer.
Made the world appear as a duality so they can divide and conquer.
Yeah, divide and conquer. That's what's going on. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead.
Yes. And see, so that temple was in Jerusalem. See, in the true followers of Nazarenes, see, they didn't play that. They didn't care about no law. They didn't care about no whatever they had going on. We talking about life here. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just know it's been a long list of generation of cowards that came before, so they don't deserve no honor in the sense of they stood for something. They let this go down. They let our people blood be shed, and they gave in to the cause of this Roman colonialism.
Yeah.
And instead of dying like a man and a woman, they rather live as a slave. As a man and a woman.
And go along with it. Monkey see.
And so now we see who all did it, and it's called the money makers.
Yeah.
These are the people who are at the top of the list of selling everybody out.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that go from the past. Ain't nothing changed except the largeness of the stomach now. You see who it all is now, because everybody belly so big.
Yeah.
So you know who the sellouts are.
That's right.
So it's already clear, but if we don't got this wisdom of the 144 characters of wisdom, then we don't have wisdom.
Yeah. And to back up what you just said, the proof is in the pudding. And what is everybody going after? The dollar bill, the paper money, and it says, in God we trust. And that's what everybody focus now is the money, because when you go to a job, what you expecting to get out of that? Some money. Everywhere we go and do, even the ball players, what they going for? What? Money. The money lenders have what you want. You don't want truth, or you don't want to know the truth. You're not concerned about your soul nor your spirit. What you after now is money. And put a period behind that.
Yes, that's why we gotta stop passing that philosophy on.
Yeah.
Because that's part of a Negro philosophy. Get a good job.
Oh yeah.
That's first money. So the first thing you told is to get a good job.
That's the early bird.
That's early bird.
That's when, cause that's all I heard when I was coming up. Was go to school, you learn a good education where you can go and work for somebody and get you a job, and where you can take care of your family. Our ancestors didn't do all that, but they was taking care of their family. What happened up with the switcheroo?
Allah take care of all. See, this
the birds and the bees and all of them don't have to go and apply for that. Allah take care of them. But I remember when scripture said the fox have holes, the bird have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Don't pay your rent or your lease is up. And you ain't got nowhere, no land to move on to or go to. Where you gonna go? What you gonna do now?
Mm-hmm. And that's the sad state that people are in.
We are in
That's
that
the poorest,
condition.
man, that's the poorest philosophy. I tell you, that's the poorest philosophy to ever been invented.
Son, listen. People lived it out here on the land. Melanated people, they let the land, they sold the land and moved to the city, moved north and went to the big city, bright light big city. I know this for a fact.
I just seen where some African people was talking about they just sold their land in Africa to buy data, to buy internet for their village, or their little family. Like, this is what's going on in Africa right now.
They done tricked them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness gracious.
It's because of us, and we keep leading the torch. And acting like this stuff is the finest thing to ever exist, like it's greater than life itself. And so that's why I'm saying Americans are the biggest fools, for everybody right now. Because they the biggest consumers. They consume everything.
Yeah,
and they don't give back nothing. And so especially don't even give thanks to the Creator. These people give thanks to Mithra or in the name of Jesus. Ain't nothing for the Creator, by the Creator, in the name of the Creator, as an action of the Creator. And it's been passed on for generations. Only thing everybody's worried about from old to young is money.
Yeah.
I hear it.
Yeah.
I don't have to be told. I hear it. I see people actions.
Yeah.
Everybody, you say what they're going to do, they money. I'm focused on money. I'm focused on money. Power.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody got nowhere yet. For my looking.
Sure never ain't.
People been chasing money for a long time.
More trouble.
Yes. And now you need more help.
Yeah.
But we ain't nobody trying to help the Creator. Everybody trying to help themselves stay from being drowned, but you willing to drown someone else. You remember that time, that pool, when Vanna grabbed the head of, see how that's just how life is. When somebody else is drowning, they'll grab you to drown with them.
I went down.
So we have to understand this is why a community is so important. Because this is what brings back the unity that was once here and for all. Because individually, we're going to suffer if we don't have the knowledge of self. Because that's create gaps and distances. And you can't be together in a distance. If my wife is over there and I'm over here, I'm not married. I'm separated. And I'm in illusion in my mind that I'm married.
Right on.
But in reality, to be together is to be present.
That's right.
So if you ain't present, that means you absent.
That's right.
And so if you don't know the difference between present and absent, then you are unconscious.
My mind.
You be present in your people's lives. You don't be absent.
My goodness. That explains why so many marriages divorce and split up, because they were together, but they left, and now they one gone to a job, and we ain't with each other. And that's where the job have our wives and the husband pretty much all the days of their life until they get ready to retire. Man, we doing everything backwards.
It's gonna bring more frustration, more anger, more
separation,
hatred. We ain't seen that yet. Our people finna get more frustrated, more angry, and more hatred. Because is their money gonna grow? It ain't growed over 100 years yet. Is it gonna grow? If they gonna find a job that's gonna support them way past their beyond means of living? Everybody you know right now, you can't go get $1,000 from them.
No.
And they've been working for over 10 years.
Can't get 100.
So if you can't get $100 from a person, what are they doing? So this is the question. They giving all their life up. They exchanging life for money.
Sure is. Sure is.
So money now is to now when people get old, you'll see older people use money to now buy back their time. And see, this is what it don't never supposed to be, but this is why you'll see older people now pay people to do things because they not using themselves. They always been trained to use others.
Yeah.
So now you can use others more easily now with money than any other thing.
And let them do it. Yeah.
Anybody right now move for about $5. There's certain thing people move right now for $5-10 and wouldn't even do it for themselves. But you put a little reward out there, like that's a reward that you can go buy something that you will always need refills.
Yeah.
Meaning you will never be replenished or satisfied with something you didn't make or create. And this is the epitome of us. We want something that we didn't create. So we're going to always be poor. You only become rich with what you create. We ain't created nothing to become rich of. We keep giving it all away.
Yep.
But now
It's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we must close our beautiful beloved meeting.
And then next one, Sufa 71.
Sufa 71. Oh, yeah. Oh, beautiful. Mm-hmm.